Star Wars shows us severed hands, exploding planets, and a man who's only still alive because his suit apparently doesn't come with an off switch. But the cruelest things don't happen in the movies. They're hidden in the comics, the novels, and the games, where an interrogation doesn't end when you talk, where they take your body, your memories, or even your connection to the Force. And here's the most disturbing part. These 10 levels aren't some discarded Legends nightmare. They're canon. At the top, a creature that crawls into your body. At the very bottom, something that leaves even a Jedi Master too terrified to remember who he is. Welcome to the torture iceberg. Take one more deep breath. Later on, even that might get difficult. Level 1, the Geonosian brainworm. We start off almost harmless, a thin, pale worm. No teeth, no claws, and until it crawls up your nose and into your head. Geonosian brainworms take over their host's nervous system. The body keeps moving, the voice still works, but something else is making the decisions now. In the Clone Wars, they infect clone troopers and even the Padawan Barriss Offee. The victims turn on their own friends. The horror is in the detail. Underneath that foreign will, the victim can still feel what their own hands are doing. In the end, Barriss begs to be killed, because dead is better than being remote controlled. A parasite takes you over bad, but at least it needs a living body. The next level was built from the ground up to make the living suffer. Level 2, 000, the polite torture droid. 000 looks just like C3PO, except this one, instead of 6 million forms of communication, decided to learn 6 million forms of pain. The Black Protocol droid comes from the Canon Darth Vader and Doctor Aphra comics, programmed for etiquette, translation, and torture. With him, a friendly sentence is not reassuring. It's the polite announcement that something very impolite is about to happen to your organs. He's got tools, chemicals, anatomical knowledge, but above all, he enjoys his work and never stops explaining how extraordinarily regrettable all of this is. A droid inflicts pain until you talk. Dr. Silo went further. He built a torture method for the one man everyone else is afraid of. Level 3, the switch inside Darth Vader's body. In the 2015 Darth Vader comic series, the scientist Silo is developing replacement warriors for the Emperor. He's got just one problem. The moment Vader realizes someone wants to replace him, the conversation gets very short. So Silo hides a remote shutdown inside Vader's life support systems. One press of a button, and the Dark Lord drops to his knees. His artificial limbs stop obeying. The armor keeping him alive becomes his prison. For Vader, this is more than pain. It's a replay of his deepest trauma. Mutilated again, helpless again, dependent again on a machine somebody else controls. Silo's only mistake was staying within reach, but Vader wasn't the only victim whose will got taken apart. On the next level, the Empire turns Jedi not into corpses, but into hunters of their own family. Level 4, the Inquisitor Fortress. Seri Junda and her Padawan Trilla Siduri survive Order 66. The Empire finds them. At the Fortress Inquisitorius, Seri is tortured until her resistance breaks, and she gives up Trilla's location. That's the insidious first part. Not just to extract information, but to leave the victim afterward with the knowledge that she betrayed someone she loved. Then the Inquisitors break Trilla through pain and through her hatred for the master she believes abandoned her. The Padawan becomes the second sister. The Empire destroys two people with a single blow. Seri lives with her guilt, and Trilla becomes a weapon against everything she used to be. And if you think the Emperor at least treats his most powerful servants better, Palpatine's performance reviews rarely had a constructive section. Level 5, Palpatine's punishment on Mustafar. Vader had defied his master's orders. Out of a last shred of mercy, he let Padmé's former confidants escape. Palpatine decides his apprentice needs a reminder, not a written warning, a physical one. In the 2020 Canon Darth Vader comic series, the Emperor overpowers him, destroys his artificial limbs, and leaves the mutilated Vader on Mustafar, the exact spot where Anakin Skywalker once lost everything. Vader is meant to claw his way back under his own power without his armor. Palpatine doesn't just attack his body, he forces him to relive his worst experience all over again. Black sand, fire, missing limbs. The pain is only the tool. The message is this: you don't live because you're strong, you live because I allow it. Up to this point, at least the ones doing the torturing were people. From here on, it gets biological, and the next creature doesn't want you to talk, it wants you to ripen. Level 6, the Screaming Citadel. On the forest world of Katathatn, a queen rules over the Screaming Citadel. She promises her guests protection and even eternal youth. As with every suspiciously good offer in Star Wars, you should leave the moment you hear the word eternal. The inhabitants are controlled by parasitic symbiotes. Here, people aren't citizens, they're livestock. The queen and her vampire-like servants keep victims captive and feed on their life force. The victim doesn't die right away, they're slowly drained, the body kept intact just long enough to stay useful, and presiding over it all, a ruler who doesn't see this as a torture chamber, but as a perfectly functioning household. But even there, you keep your human form. The next level treats flesh as nothing more than material to be rearranged. Level 7, the Decraniated. In the films, Dr. Cornelius Evazan is just the aggressive man in the cantina who tells Luke he's wanted in 12 systems. The backstory reveals why. Evazan developed decraniation, a procedure in which people lose parts of their brain and their skull, replaced by cybernetic systems. What's left behind are the Decraniated, living servants with no free will. They see, they hear, they carry out orders, but the person they once were is essentially erased. No memory, no choice, no way back. The body lives on while the self was removed like a defective part. And this didn't just happen to willing test subjects, a term nobody in Evazan's lab was using anyway. On Jeddah, he turned prisoners into new specimens. Dryden Voss later used such beings as servants. A slave can be freed. A Decraniated can't even understand what freedom means anymore. Level 8, the Spark Eternal. Beneath the University of Barleth, Doctor Aphra goes looking for an ancient machine built by the Ascendant. A cult that couldn't use the Force, so they built technology to imitate it. Naturally, Aphra pokes the artifact. Self-preservation was never her strong suit. The Spark Eternal kills her first, and then brings her body back. Only now it belongs to the Spark. Aphra's consciousness is locked inside her own memories. The Spark uses her voice, moves her hands, and attacks the people trying to save her. She isn't unconscious. She experiences a foreign will wearing her life like a stolen costume. Later, even her inner voice is silenced. And with that, the last private place a person can retreat to disappears. No prison needs walls when it's shaped exactly like your own body. The Spark wants to use Aphra. The next species wants to eat its victims, but only after it's touched their minds. Level 9, the Drengir. The Drengir are among the darkest beings of the High Republic, massive plant creatures linked by a shared consciousness. They wrap vines around their victims, dig into body and mind, and feel a hunger that doesn't negotiate. What's especially disturbing is their mental control. Even Jedi hear their voices and fight against a foreign will while the vines pin the body in place. The Drengir don't just want to kill, they see sentient life simply as meat. Imagine feeling roots under your skin. You hear the shared whispering of beings who decided long ago that you're food. And as you try to hold on to your own thoughts, something in your head pulls at them like loose threads. The Jedi eventually managed to contain the Drengir, but in that same era, they ran into something even worse. A creature a lightsaber barely helps against because it eats the Force itself out of you first. Level 10, the Nameless and Loden Greatstorm. At the very bottom, there's no Sith, no droid, no visible instrument of torture. Martian Ro holds the Jedi Master Loden Greatstorm captive for months, humiliating him and using him as a living trophy, and still, Loden stays a Jedi until Martian releases the so-called Great Leveler, one of the Nameless. For Force-sensitive beings, these creatures generate raw, uncontrollable terror. Perception and memory fall apart. The Jedi sees things that aren't there and feels his connection to the Force disappearing. Not like a door swinging shut, more like something being eaten away from the inside. For a Jedi, the Force isn't just an ability. It connects him to all living things and offers comfort, even in death. The Nameless takes that connection first, then it leaves nothing but fear. No heroic duel, no last clever line. A Jedi Master dies in panic while his body turns to ash and stone, and Martian Row watches. That was the Canon iceberg, from the worm that steers your body to a creature that takes a Jedi's Force first, then his mind, and finally his life. And maybe that's the dark truth behind all of it. The worst torture in Star Wars doesn't just want to kill you, it wants your body to remain, while piece by piece, everything that makes you disappears. Your will, your memories, your connection to the Force. The films usually show the moment of pain. The comics, novels, and games show what's left afterward. Which of these levels did you actually know about, and which canon method, in your opinion, belongs even deeper? Drop it in the comments. Maybe there's even more hidden beneath this iceberg, and that honestly wouldn't be especially reassuring news.